Can technology truly enhance English language learning, or is it just another distraction? To answer this, we must first look at what technology really does. It creates opportunities for global connection. Think about it. Years ago, if you wanted to practice English, you needed to find a teacher nearby or perhaps a friend who knew the language. For many people, that wasn't even possible. They were limited by geography, money, or access. But now, a single device in your pocket can connect you to people from every corner of the world. You can speak with someone in London while sitting in Karachi, or exchange ideas with a student in New York while you are in a small village far away. That kind of connection was once unimaginable, yet today it is as simple as opening an app or joining a call. This global connection does something powerful. It gives you exposure, and exposure is the secret ingredient of language learning. When you hear real conversations, when you see real expressions, when you interact with real people, your learning becomes alive. English stops being a subject in a book and becomes a living bridge between you and others. Imagine watching a video where someone explains their culture and you not only understand the words, but also the emotions behind them. That is the gift of connection that technology offers. But connection is not just about practice. It is also about motivation. When you meet people from other countries, when you realize that your words can travel across oceans, you start to feel a deeper purpose in learning. You are no longer learning English just to pass an exam. You are learning it to communicate, to belong, and to expand your world. And every time you connect with someone new, you see how much progress you've made. This makes you want to keep going. So yes, technology enhances English learning because it breaks walls that once held learners back. It creates doors where before there were none. And through these doors, you don't just step into new lessons, you step into new worlds. Learning English becomes more interactive through apps and tools, and this is where technology shows its real magic. In the past, learning often meant sitting at a desk with a heavy grammar book, repeating rules that felt dry and disconnected from real life. Today, with just a few taps, a learner can turn those same lessons into games, challenges, and interactive experiences that keep the mind engaged. Instead of memorizing endless word lists, an app might present new vocabulary as part of a story, a puzzle, or even a timed quiz that feels more like play than study. This interaction matters because our brains remember what excites us. When learning feels like a chore, progress is slow. But when learning feels like a game, the mind becomes curious, active, and ready to absorb more. Imagine a student opening an app that rewards them with points for every correct sentence, badges for completing a lesson, and streaks for daily practice. Suddenly, discipline is no longer forced. It is encouraged by small victories that build momentum. And beyond games, interactive tools give learners freedom to choose how they want to learn. Some people prefer listening, so they use podcasts and videos. Others prefer writing, so they practice with AI chat tools. Some want conversation practice, so they join live speaking clubs online. Technology doesn't demand one path, it offers many, allowing each learner to find the style that suits them best. This is the heart of interactivity. It transforms learning from something passive into something alive. You are not just reading English, you are using it, shaping it, and playing with it. And the more you interact with a language, the more it becomes a part of you. Technology offers instant feedback that speeds up progress, and this is one of its greatest strengths. Think about traditional learning. You write an essay, wait days for a teacher to mark it, and by the time you see the mistakes, the moment has already passed. But with technology, the response comes immediately. You type a sentence into a learning app, and within seconds, it highlights the errors, suggests corrections, and even explains why. That instant correction is powerful because it allows you to learn in the very moment when your mind is most alert and curious. This feedback removes the fear of being stuck. Imagine a learner trying to pronounce a difficult word. In a classroom, they might hesitate, afraid of making a mistake in front of others. With technology, they can practice privately, repeat as many times as they like, and get real-time guidance until the word feels natural. Each small correction builds confidence. Each attempt makes progress faster. But feedback is not only about mistakes, it is also about encouragement. Many apps and tools celebrate the learner's effort. They mark progress with positive reinforcement, reminding you how far you have come. This builds momentum, and momentum is what keeps a learner going, even on the days when motivation is low. In this way, technology becomes like a personal coach. It doesn't just tell you when you are wrong, it guides you toward being right, step by step, without delay. And when feedback is instant, learning accelerates because the distance between mistake and understanding is reduced to almost nothing. Access to books, stories, and resources is easier than ever before. And this changes everything for an English learner. There was a time when people had to walk to a library, hope that the right book was available, and even then, it might have been written in a style too complex for a beginner. Today, the entire world of English literature, learning guides, and practice materials lives inside a phone or computer, just waiting to be opened. From classic works like Pride and Prejudice to simple graded readers designed for learners, technology places knowledge within reach of anyone, anywhere. This kind of access breaks the boundaries of time and place. A student in a small town who once had no English teacher nearby can now watch lectures from some of the best universities. Someone who could not afford expensive textbooks can now download free ebooks or listen to podcasts. The walls that once kept learners away from English have been replaced by open doors. And access is not just about quantity, but also variety. You can read stories, watch movies with subtitles, listen to audiobooks, or join online discussions about the themes of a novel. Every learner can choose the medium that feels natural, reading for some, listening for others, or even combining both. With this variety, English learning is no longer tied to one method. It becomes an adventure of discovery. Most importantly, this easy access builds a habit of learning. When English is always available, on your phone, your tablet, your laptop, you no longer see it as something distant. It becomes part of your daily life, woven into your routines. And when learning becomes part of life, progress is no longer something you chase. It becomes something that flows naturally. Motivation grows when learning feels like a game, and this is one of the secrets that technology has unlocked. Human beings are naturally drawn to play. We love challenges, rewards, and the thrill of reaching the next level. Technology takes this natural drive and weaves it into language learning. Suddenly, practicing English is no longer about forcing yourself to memorize. It's about unlocking achievements, collecting points, and celebrating small victories. Picture a learner opening an app that greets them with a cheerful sound and a daily challenge. Translate this sentence in under 10 seconds. The learner's heart races a little, not because of fear, but because of excitement. With each correct answer, a bar fills up, a badge is awarded, and progress feels visible. This is not just studying anymore. It's a game where every move counts. Games are powerful because they change how we see effort. What once felt like work now feels like play. Instead of dreading the thought of another grammar exercise, a learner looks forward to earning the next reward. Instead of worrying about mistakes, they see them as obstacles to overcome, like levels in a game. This playful approach keeps the mind engaged far longer than traditional study ever could. But the deeper effect of gamified learning is motivation that lasts. When you see your streak grow, day after day, week after week, you realize that consistency is possible. When you earn a digital trophy for finishing a course, it gives you a sense of pride that sparks the question, what can I achieve next? Technology turns the invisible journey of language learning into something visible, measurable, and exciting. And in that excitement lies the motivation to continue, because when learning feels like play, giving up no longer feels like an option. Mistakes turn into stepping stones through AI and smart corrections, and this is one of the most life-changing parts of using technology for learning. In the past, mistakes often felt heavy. A student might write the wrong word on a test and feel discouraged, or speak a sentence incorrectly in class and feel embarrassed. Those moments could silence progress, making learners afraid to try again. But technology has changed that story. With AI-powered tools and smart correction systems, mistakes are no longer something to fear. Instead, they become immediate lessons. You write a sentence, and the tool gently shows you where it went wrong, highlighting the mistake without judgment and offering the correct form right beside it. Suddenly, the error is not a mark of failure. It's a stepping stone toward improvement. This shift is powerful because it changes how learners see themselves. Instead of thinking, I'm not good at English, they begin to think, I'm getting better every time I practice. Every error becomes feedback, every correction a small victory. Technology creates a safe space where you can make as many mistakes as you need, repeat the practice endlessly, and grow without fear of embarrassment. And here's the real beauty. The brain learns fastest when it is corrected at the very moment of the mistake. By giving instant suggestions, AI tools help learners rewire their memory in real time. That quick adjustment ensures the correct usage sticks much faster than if the correction came hours or days later. So in this way, mistakes transform from roadblocks into stepping stones. They stop being the reason to quit and become the reason to continue. With every corrected word, the learner builds a stronger bridge to fluency. One step, one mistake, one lesson at a time. Online communities encourage practice and confidence, and this may be one of the most human gifts that technology brings into language learning. For many learners, the biggest challenge is not grammar or vocabulary. It's the fear of speaking, the fear of being judged, the fear of sounding foolish, alone. That fear can grow strong. But when you step into an online community filled with people on the same journey, the fear begins to fade. Imagine a learner joining a virtual group where everyone is practicing English together. Some are advanced, some are beginners, but all are encouraging each other. The shy student who once stayed silent in class suddenly feels safe enough to speak. They share a few words, make a few mistakes, and instead of laughter or criticism, they receive kindness and applause. That moment changes everything. Confidence grows not in isolation, but in connection. Communities also bring accountability. When you know that friends across the world are waiting to see your progress, you feel inspired to keep learning. You look forward to joining discussions, reading each other's posts, or even recording short messages to share. Step by step, English becomes more than a subject. It becomes a social experience. And here's the deeper truth. Language was never meant to be learned alone. It was meant to be spoken, shared, and lived. Online communities give learners that chance, no matter where they are in the world. They create spaces where practice feels natural, mistakes feel normal, and growth feels shared. Through these connections, confidence blossoms. And once a learner gains confidence, the doors to fluency open wide, because a confident voice is always stronger than a perfect sentence. Technology cannot replace discipline, but it can multiply results, and this is a truth every learner must understand. A phone may carry the best apps, the most advanced tools, and endless resources, but if the learner does not open it with purpose, nothing changes. Technology is like a lamp. It can shine brightly, but only if you choose to switch it on. Without discipline, the light remains off. Discipline is the engine, and technology is the fuel. Imagine a student who downloads 10 different learning apps but uses none of them consistently. Their progress will be slow, maybe even non-existent. Now picture another student who chooses just one app, spends 15 minutes every day practicing, and never misses a day. Within months, their progress will be noticeable, not because the tool was magical, but because their discipline allowed the tool to work its magic. Technology multiplies effort. A learner who is consistent will see their growth speed up because instant feedback, gamification, and access to resources all compound when used daily. But without discipline, the same technology becomes a distraction, leading the learner into scrolling, browsing, or wasting time instead of improving. This is why self-control and commitment matter more than the tool itself. The best teacher cannot help the student who refuses to learn, and the best app cannot help the learner who refuses to practice. But when discipline is present, technology becomes like a powerful wind behind your sail, pushing you forward faster than you ever imagined. So the real question is not whether technology can help, it's whether you are willing to show up every day and use it with intention. Because when discipline leads the way, technology follows with strength, multiplying every step you take. True progress happens when technology is used with purpose, and this is the lesson that ties everything together. A learner may have access to apps, online teachers, books, videos, and entire communities, but without clarity of purpose, all of it can become noise. Purpose is the compass. It tells you why you are learning, what you want to achieve, and how you will use the tools in your hands. Imagine two learners. One opens their phone with no plan, jumping from video to video, app to app, half studying but mostly drifting. Weeks pass, and progress feels scattered, uncertain. The other learner opens the same phone, but with a clear goal. Today, I will practice speaking for 15 minutes, or I will read one story and learn 5 new words. The tools are the same, but the outcome is completely different. Why? Because purpose shapes action, and action shapes results. When you learn with purpose, every piece of technology becomes a partner in your journey. An app becomes more than a game. It becomes a daily habit. A podcast becomes more than background noise. It becomes a training ground for your listening skills. A community becomes more than strangers online. It becomes your classroom, your encouragement, your proof that you are not alone. Purpose is what prevents distraction. It reminds you that you are not just learning English for fun, you are learning it to grow, to connect, to create opportunities, to build confidence, and to expand your world. And when you hold on to that purpose, technology stops being just a tool and starts being a bridge that carries you from where you are to where you want to be. So yes, technology can enhance English language learning, but its real power is unlocked only when you approach it with purpose, discipline, and courage. When you do, every click, every word, every mistake, and every conversation becomes part of your progress. And in that progress, you discover not only the language, but also the strength within yourself to keep moving forward.